Luke, how difficult was this year for you, and how did you kind of cope with your role?
It was very hard. I worked extremely hard this summer to get my back to a level that I could compete and play and help this team. And obviously, getting hurt in training camp didn't help, but I still felt like once I was healthy again, and the coach knowing what I could do and bring the team, that I'd be able to contribute a lot more than he let me. But he had told me his game plan was to have the second unit play at a much faster speed than the first unit, which kind of I'm more of a let's bring it up and run the offense and execute, and it kind of left me out of the rotation a little bit, which hurt a lot. But the team was winning, so as long as the team's winning, then that's all that really matters. And until this sudden loss in the playoffs, now it hurts even a little worse.
How about how it hurts from a standpoint for coach in his final game?
That sucks. He's a great coach. He's a great man. I've learned so much from him over my 8 years. As far as basketball is concerned, obviously, but then just growing as a person and a man, and the way I live my life just from watching him and talking to him and all that. So seeing all his kids at the game and knowing that it was his last run, it's tough to not send a guy like that out on top.
What was the point of emphasis from the exit interview?
I talked with Coach for a while. I felt like I had to get some stuff off my chest that had been bothering me for the most of the season and in the postseason. But all in a very respectful way. I told him, he means the world to me. So I just so we could have an open conversation. I had to get some stuff off my chest and tell him how I felt about some things. And he gave me his opinion on what he thinks I should be doing in the future, and he was proud to see me fight my way back through that back injury and get to a place where I could be I can continue to play. But and then he left the room, and Mitch and I talked a little bit about the future of the team and that stuff. But most times the exit meetings are about what they want you to do in the summer, what kind of workouts, where you're going to be, who you're going to be working out with. But obviously with Phil gone, and who knows what's gonna happen next season. It wasn't that type of talk. It was more just about this past season and that type of stuff.
Why do you feel it's important to clear the air with Phil when he's not going to be the guy coaching you next year? So why get that done?
Just because I respect him too much to hold any anger towards him. He's been unbelievable to me, and I told him that, and I didn't want, obviously, like I said earlier, it hurt not being able to help my teammates this year. I felt like I really could have helped this team succeed, and with him retiring and probably going back to Montana, I didn't want to not see him and still have these thoughts of, dang, it hurt, you not letting me be a part of this thing, down the stretch. So I felt like if I could get that off my chest, then it would just be better for for our relationship and the way I feel towards him.
You guys have always had this. As to why he didn't play you
you know, in situations where you felt that you could have played and contributed?
He just felt it was a speed thing. You know, he told me he felt he needed that second unit to be an up and down type of team because of you know, the injuries and the age with all the starters and the lack of speed the starting unit played with. He felt like the best chance we had was to, once we got the second unit in, for them to pick up full court, you know, get the tempo of the game going, run it up and down as fast as they could, and that was kind of what he wanted out of the second unit this year, and that, you know, that wasn't really where my contributions and my skills and I'm best suited for. That's not really the same, you know, the same thing.
Do you
talked
have
about
any
the level.
expectations of, like, you know, whoever the next coach is going to be? I mean, would your role be to, you know, I mean, without your role being any different than it was?
I mean, I hope it's a lot different. You know, I didn't have much of a role this year besides getting guys ready, you know, in practice, going at them hard, and you know, obviously being part of a team, you're on the team. You know, you practice every day. It's your job, if you're not playing, to get the starters sharp and keep them ready. And I did that to the best of my abilities. But whoever comes in next year, I'm going to work my tail off again this summer. My back's felt way better all this year than it did last year. So if I can do the same stuff, I'm hoping it'll only be stronger next year, and prove to him, whoever the coach is, how, you know, how hungry I am and how much I want to play, and hopefully have a much bigger role on the team next season.
We talked about the, you know, good relationship you've had with Phil over the years, but I guess before you talked with him about this, was this something you were weighing as far as whether you should be up front and let this off your chest, or was it pretty well aware that you want to do this?
Well, yeah, and I think that, I mean, it even goes back to the relationship we've had the whole time. You know, I think as a man, you know, if something's bothering you, you air it out. You don't, you know, go talking all about it to everyone else. But to coach, you sit down, and I definitely didn't want him to think I was, you know, being disrespectful or anything. So when I first sat down, I kind of clarified that. You know, he truly does mean a lot to me, you know, as a person and a coach, and I think he would want me to have that conversation with him, as opposed to hold it inside and kind of not let it out. You know, that's not how he taught me, and that's not, you know, the way I've been raised here in the Laker organization. So it was nothing bad. It was a good talk, and I think we, you know, at least I know I feel better about it now.
Luke, if the roster stays mostly the same, do you think the triangle offense is still the best fit, or maybe try something else?
That's a very good question, and I think as long as the main roster comes back, I mean, it's tough. If we keep the triangle, you know, I don't see where you go from anywhere but Coach Shaw. You know, I don't see who else you'd hire from the outside that you're gonna bring in to run the triangle. I mean, they don't know. No one else knows it but this staff. So I think it kind of depends on that. You know, how management wants to handle that, who they want the head coach to be. But obviously, everyone on this team knows the triangle very well, and we've had a lot of success with it. So, you know, that's a question for the management, how they want to handle it. But I know if you bring back this same team with the pain that we have right now, that we haven't felt in a few years, and the hunger we're gonna have to get back on top, you know, we're gonna be better. We're gonna be a lot better next season than we were this season.
There's a lot of talk out there about break up the Lakers. Do you think this team can and should come back?
Yeah, I definitely do. There's no reason to break us up. We've been in the finals 3 years in a row before this year. We've had a lot of success, and I mean, there's a lot of teams that, you know, it's the finals. Do we feel we should have been there? Absolutely. You know, did we underachieve this year? 100%. But we have been there 3 straight years, and I think there's no reason that whoever comes out of the West this year is going to be better than us next year with this same team. You know, you look at the Lakers in the, you know, that's the first thing that came to me when I heard Magic talking about blowing up the team. Like, Magic, they won in '85. They lost in the Western Conference in '86, and then came back and, you know, kick butt again in '87, '88, and won more titles. So I don't really see how it's any different from that. You know, other than we've been there 3 straight years right now. We had a bad year. We're all upset about it. Everyone's angry. Everyone I've talked to is, you know, it hurts. There's a deep, empty hole inside right now. And unfortunately, it's going to be a long summer of dealing with that. But I don't see any reason why this team can't come back next year and win another championship.
You know, other than gaining, you know, maybe gaining some humility and, you know, having a new coach, or are there some things that you think this team needs?
No.
Just that simple. Though.
I mean, there's some new things we have to work. I think, you know, as much as the defense we were trying this year was, you know, there was a lot of positive things about it. I don't think this team was ready for all that adjustment. I think we were just too inconsistent on the defensive end. Teams were getting too many open shots. You know, I think our execution of the triangle was not at the same level it's been in, you know, over the past years, as far as just picking teams apart no matter what they do defensively. It was really, I mean, it was basic this year. You know, it was a lot of just the simple aspects of the offense, not the second and third and counter options that make it so hard to guard, especially in a playoff series where everyone else that runs sets, we know what sets they're running, we know where they're going to go. With us, no matter what you do defensively, there's always a counter to counter that, and we never really got into that too much this year. So that's a good song. So I think with being a little more just a little more sharp offensively, you know, and if we do keep the same defense, having that much more time starting it in training camp, because it was a complex defense, and you know, it took all 5 people on the same page. So, you know, I think just being more aware of that and more sharp offensively, more, you know, more attention to the details, and there's no reason this team can't win another championship, if not 2.
Why did Andrew pass those 4 elementary points?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it was just, you know, we had injuries this year. We weren't, you know, as far as practice, we didn't really have, you know, everyone out there all the time. You know, we did have some new guys on the team that, you know, you have first-year triangle guys with 6-year triangle. I mean, the triangle offense, everyone needs to be just like this. And the guys that were new, they did a great job of picking it up, but there's no one that comes in the first year of the triangle and knows how to execute it as well as someone that's been here for 5 years or 6 years. And, you know, these guys are all playing together. You got to find the fine line. So if you can't, you know, you can't try to do something here where if other people, you know, they don't know those options, you know, as well. And you know, that with the fact that, you know, maybe we had won back-to-back champions. We thought we were the best. We thought we were going to win again this year, and we weren't willing to, you know, put in all, you know, to really get in and sacrifice and do. It was like, all right, you know, we got Drew and we got Pound, we got Kobe. It's easier just to throw them the ball and let them score because they're the best out there. No one can stop them. As opposed to like, no, we're going to pound this ball. We're going to move it from one side to the other, make the defense switch, counter back, go inside, and we're near impossible to stop when we actually do play that way. You know, I don't have an answer for you. I'm just kind of throwing stuff out on maybe why. But it frustrates me too, because you know I that's what I love. That's what I love about the basketball, about the triangle offense, is how you can just pick other teams apart and make them look helpless out there. And we didn't do that down the stretch this year.
Luke, on that note, Andrew had mentioned in his view the need for more intense practices, but in your view, how do you weigh that, I guess, whole issue versus just the reality that guys have been hurt, there's a lot of basketball mileage on the team?
Yeah, I mean, we've gone deep, you know, deep in the playoffs until June. I mean, people keep asking what you're going to do this summer. I don't know. I don't make plans until July because we don't ever get done this early. And you go deep into the season like that for so many years, and then we have guys that go and play on the national team and the Olympic team and PAL for his country. And, I mean, guys get, you know, they get beat down, they get worn down, and it's tough to have more intense, harder practices when you got 9.5, you know, guys practicing, and the rest of the guys on the sideline with ice on their knees and getting treatment. You know, you can only go so hard, and it has nothing to do with the coaching staff. They're an old school staff. They bring us in every day. We watch a lot of film. You know, we go out there and we practice every single day. Or you talk to some of these other teams, and they're like, every time there's a back-to-back, they guarantee have a day off the next day. We don't know what that's like. We don't get days off, and so it's not from like a lack of their discipline. It's just merely a numbers thing, I think, with us. And we didn't have the bodies to go as hard as we usually go.
Luke, how strange is the uncertainty of what's to happen here, the league, the coaching, maybe the roster?
It's weird. It's definitely tough, but it's one thing in LA, you know, I learned is every off season is pretty wild here. There's never really any dead off seasons as a Laker, and you know, I've been lucky enough to make it through all of them, but you know, it's crazy around here, and I think this summer is building up to be the craziest as far as, like you said, you know, new staff, lockout possibilities, talk around the league. I mean, talk around the media about, does this team need to be blown up? Possibly there could be all three of them, you know, lockout, new coaches, and all new team. So the only thing I've learned is get as prepared as I can for next season and control what I can control. And I can't control any of those three things that they're talking about. So I'm gonna be here in LA working out, and most of the times I find out from one of you guys about that, or ESPN about what happens to us. So you guys know way before I do. So
besides knowing the triangle and knowing you guys, why do you think Brian Shaw would be a good coach?
I mean, he's hungry. He's young. He knows. You know, he knows this team. He's gonna be head coach somewhere. You know, I'm pretty sure of that, and he. I just think he has a unique ability to relate to players because of his age and his. You know, he's almost a new style coach, where he likes to mix it up with the players, and I mean, he's out there playing one-on-one and shooting with us before games and talking trash, and it's a different style, but it works. It's effective. He knows how to challenge you. He knows everyone in this league loves competition and loves the idea of a challenge, and that's how we've gotten here, because you're willing to do whatever it takes to meet that challenge, and he uses that as kind of a mental game to keep everything intense and sharp and that. So he'll be a good head coach in this league.
So what you saying? You want Phil to come out there with his cane play against you guys?
No, not at all. I'm just saying, PJ. He used to yell at Brian. You know, like, you're a coach. you're not their friend. You know? And that's the I mean, that kind of, to me, that is the way coaching is. You know, Coach Olson wasn't our friend when we were there. Now that I'm gone, we talk every time I see him. He's a great, we have a lot closer relationship now. Phil's the same way. He's not there to be your friend during the season, but Brian's found, or has a unique way of being your friend, but at the same time challenging you all the time to improve and to get better and to win. And it's just something I've never seen before. But I've only played for really 2 coaches in the last 12 years. So, but it's unique and I like it. So I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna work for him wherever he gets the opportunity to coach.
How much was the labor
wrap it up, guys?
situation an overarching presence this year?
The what?
The impending labor strife, and especially with Fish being the president of Players Union. Was there meetings or did you get informed of what's going on?
Yeah, he did, but for our team at least, I don't think it was much of a distraction. I mean, we got the Zen master. He keeps everybody, really focused at the task at hand. That's what he's great at doing. So it wasn't about his last year, or it wasn't about there might be a lockout next year. It was about being in the moment every day, trying to get better. And unfortunately for us, it didn't work out this year. Now that it's over, it sucks because it's like, normally, all right, take a couple weeks off, get ready. We know come, September, training camp's right around the corner. Let's get back after it. And now it's kind of an unknown. Who knows how long we have to sit around until we have a chance to redeem ourselves.